السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. وما بعد. جزاكم الله خير. My dear respected brothers and sisters, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering and make this gathering for His sake. Inshallah, bidnillah ta'ala, today we're going to be talking about two important aspects of zakah. And we're going to be talking about who should we give the zakat for, meaning who are the people, who are the types of people that are candidates to receive the zakat. And also we're going to be talking about another type of zakat where we call zakat al-fitr. So far we were talking about zakat al-mal, which is the general wealth. And also now at the end of this talk we're going to be talking about zakat al-fitr, which is a special type of zakat, a special category that only applies during the month of Ramadan. So let's go jump into the subject. Who should we give the zakat for? Who should we give the zakat for? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us one ayah in the Quran that describes the types of people that we should be receiving the zakat. And there are 8 different categories. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم. So these are the 8 different categories that they should be receiving zakat. And inshallah, we're going to be talking about each one of them in brief, so people understand what's the meaning. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ. First of all, He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, sadaqat is for, and then He lists them. First category is al-fuqara, which is poor. So what does faqir in Arabic mean? Faqir, it means, there is difference in opinion what does the faqir means, but generally speaking, a faqir, it means a person or an individual who have nothing, like absolutely nothing. He have no food at home. He could have no shelter. Who has no, he's al-mu'dam. We call he got nothing, you know. So we call it faqir, or we give the name to the person we call faqir. We call him al-mu'dam, meaning that he has absolutely nothing, you know, and he's in need. He's in need. Whatever you give him, he will take because he is in need. If he is shelter, clothes, food, money, he's in need of it. Okay, so this is like the poorest of the poor. Okay, now al-miskin, again, sometimes people interchangeably use faqir and miskin, but here in this context, al-faqir is less, al-miskin is less poor than al-faqir. Again, al-miskin is less poor than al-faqir. How? So the miskin is the individual who is poor, but he has something, meaning that maybe he has shelter, maybe he have a little bit of food, maybe he have a little bit of clothes, you know, and he's able to get by a little bit, you know, unlike the faqir who has absolutely nothing. And this is the second category that we are allowed to give what the 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 zakat for. Okay, the third types of people that we give the zakat for, we call them al-amiluna alayha, those who work on distributing the zakat, meaning that, like for instance, in order for us to distribute the zakah, there has to be workers who work on this field, like relief organizations and etc., who have who are like all of their job is how they collect the money and how they distribute it. Now, the point here, and this is important to stress this, unfortunately we have to mention this nowadays, that some people abuse that. Meaning that it's meaning if al-amiluna alayha doesn't mean that I get a rain check and I get to spend, give these people as much as they want. No, just for them to get by. What's sufficient? Okay, not six figure money and they live a rich life. No, this is a relief work. This is something. You are taking people money and it's extreme responsibility. So therefore, yeah, it's the money that you're able to get by in your life, so you could able to collect and يعني and distribute this. Okay, so this is very important. So we talked about الفقراء, المساكين, العاملين عليها. Okay, what is the fourth category? المؤلفة قلوبهم. المؤلفة قلوبهم, those who are, we give these people a zakah. Who are they? There are people who you want to attract their hearts into Islam. People who are weak of faith, people who are non-Muslims, and you want to attract them to Islam, يعني by showing them the beauty of Islam, by showing them that, yeah, because sometimes people can be attracted for different things. People sometimes, they want to be they want money, so they could like you, for instance. It's not the ideal situation, but yeah, some people, like for instance, they are weak of faith, weak of iman, non-Muslims, who you thought if you give them, you might show them the goodness of Islam, and etc. We call these people what? Al-mu'allafatu qulubuhum. This is the fourth category. The fifth category, wafir riqab, those who are slaves, so you could free them. Slaves you want to free them. And again, that shows the beauty of Islam, how Islam is for freeing slaves. Islam is for yeah, Islam is not, it's not for slavery. Is one of the ways for people to get rid of slavery. It's through Islam. Okay, so if you want to, yani, you could pay zakah to free a slave from slavery. Okay, this is وفي الرقاب. والغارمون, who are الغارمون, are those who are what? Those who are in debt. Those who are in debt. Somebody who has a lot, who يعني he owes someone X amount of money, and يعني he's in tough situation. You could give him your zakah, so he could pay off his debt. Okay, so again, yeah, so in review, here we're talking about the types of people who we should be giving the zakat for, and we talked about how many? We talked about six types. We said the fuqara, those who have absolutely nothing. Al miskin, those who have something to get by. Third one is who's whom. The third one are العاملون عليها, those who work in relief organization. Fourth are the المؤلفة قلوبهم, those who are يعني weak in faith, non-Muslims, you want to attract them into Islam. وفي الرقاب, to free a slave. الغارمون عليها, the الغارمون, those who are يعني in debt. Okay, so if somebody in debt, you could give them zakat, so they could يعني so they could people pay their debt. Okay, and the seventh type of people, وفي سبيل الله, those for instance who are يعني fighting in the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who are travelers and they have like no where to go. So sometimes people who are fighting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-ghuza, and those who are like, they're yeah, those who are fighting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the main type of people that we would call fi sabilillah. Okay, wabn sabil, and this is different category. This is the last category. Ibn sabil is the one who is a traveler who have no يعني he have nowhere to go. So maybe I mixed things up. So again, to make sure I'm saying this the right way. في سبيل الله, those you pay this for those who are fighting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الغزاة, المتطوعين. Okay, and Ibn Sabil is the one who is what? Who is يعني cut off, traveler. Yeah, sometimes people travel from one country to another, and he lost money and he have nowhere to go. You're allowed to give them your zakah. Okay, المسافر المنقطع, and he needs money for him to get by, to establish himself, and etc. Okay, now these are the 8 type of people that we should be giving the zakat for. Beyond that, no one should be receiving the zakat. Okay, who are the people that we should not be giving the zakat for? Okay, number one, people who are rich, people who are strong, people who are able to work and attain sustenance. So the thing is, and that's what I tell people. Like when, for instance, when you see someone, yeah, like again, nowadays we live in a places where يعني, people beg for no reason. If I am traveling, if I'm يعني, subhanallah, it's stopping at the traffic light, and I'm seeing a young person, young man who's healthy, absolutely nothing wrong with him, and maybe he has more muscular than I am, and he's extending his hands. Yeah, you could work. Yeah, this person does not. If somebody is strong, able to work, why should we give him the zakat? You know, if somebody is rich, why should we give him the zakat? So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he said, تؤخذ من أغنيائهم وترد إلى فقرائهم, that you take the zakat from where? From the rich, and you give it to the poor. Okay, so we take it from the rich and we give it to the poor, those who are needy. So that's the whole purpose here. Second type of people are the generally disbelievers, people who are disbelievers in Islam, al-kuffar. You don't give them zakah, except the only category that you would apply here is what? Those who are mu'allafat qulubum. You want to attract them to Islam, but beyond that, no, you don't give al-kuffar zakah. Third, al-fasiq wal-asi. So someone who is out openly committing sins and out openly bragging about his sins, you don't give them zakah. Why? Again, using the same kind of wisdom where in situations we are living right now. A lot of people who, subhanallah, I'm not gonna label everyone, but a lot of people, for instance, who are considered to be bad people for money, you might give them money, and they might go and buy alcohol with it. I might buy cigarette with it. So you're helping them with their sin. You're helping them with their sin. For instance, but sometimes money can be abused. But the thing is, let's say you want to help someone, people like this, and tell them, Wallahi, I'm going to pay for your detox or rehab. Yes, that's good. Pay for his detox rehab. You help him to go somewhere where they could get off drinking or get off doing certain things. That's good. But money can be abused in someone. ولا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do not give people who are irrational your money. ولا تؤتوا السفهاء أموالكم. Someone who does not think straight, you give him your money? No, because he's going to abuse it. Obviously, he's going to abuse it. Obviously, the fourth thing is that people who are you're obligated to spend on. There are certain people that you're obligated to spend on. They shouldn't be receiving their zakah. Whom? Your father, your mother, your wife, your kids, the kids of your kids. All of these categories are whom you're obligated to spend on them. Don't say I'm going to give them zakah. No, the zakah is not right for them, because you're obligated to. If they ask you, you have to give them. You give your mom and your father zakah, shame on you. If they ask for your eyes, you give them. You want to give them the trash of your money? No. Your mom and your father. As when a man came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "Anta wa malikul abik." You. He told a man that you and your wealth is for your father. So shame for someone who said, I'm gonna give my zakat to my father and mother. You're obligated to give them everything you own. They own you. So this shows the magnitude and the importance and the weight of your parents, ya ikhwan. Your parents, if they ask for anything, you put down your wealth and everything that you have. This is your mom and your father. So subhanallah, this is value people tend to they don't think about it. And how many times you see people, their father and mother are upset on them. Subhanallah. That's the least that we could do for these people, and say if you have your parents living, say alhamdulillah that you still have them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us. So the fifth type of category. So we talked about who are the people that we should be giving zakat for. We said the people who are strong, wealthy and able. Second, kuffar. Third, people who are outly committing sins. Fourth, people who you're obligated to spend on. And the fifth and the last category, the slaves, because the slaves you don't give zakat for. You free them, and then you get your zakat. Oh, the last category is al-Nabi, the Ahlul Bayt. The people of the descendant of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they don't receive zakat. And that shows you that يعني subhanallah, the beauty of Islam, that يعني Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he does not wanna, he's not looking after money, nor his descendant, you know, آل البيت. يعني لا تحل الزكاة إلى لآل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. There is no zakah given to the descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. No prophet. So Prophet Muhammad has not received zakah. Yeah, out of honor and out of respect and out of يعني cleaning these people from the يعني the trash of this world, which is money. Okay. Now this is comes يعني and Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم said إنها لا تحل لآل محمد إنها من أوساخ الناس. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said that this money, the zakah, is not allowed for the people of Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is the dirt of the people. Yes, it is, and indeed it is. Now, yeah, this is when it comes to zakat al-mal. Any questions before we go into zakat al-fitr? Any questions? Okay. If you have a question, write it down, and then inshallah try to answer. Now, zakat al-fitr. We're going to be talking about a different type of zakat called zakat al-fitr. Zakat al-fitr is what? Is a zakat that we pay during the month of Ramadan, only during the month of Ramadan. Okay, and it's meant for what? Is to cleanse us from the sins that we have committed during the month of Ramadan. Okay, there is a hadith by Ibn Abbas, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be used him, what he said, فرض الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم زكاة الفطر طهرة للصائم من اللغو والرفث وطعمة للمساكين. يعني Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم have obligated on us to pay zakat al-fitr. Why? So it could erase the sins that we are committing during our fasting, and يعني it's a way for us to relieve those who are poor. Okay, so what is the wisdom behind it? يعني what is the wisdom is for us, and again these two things. حكمها, yeah, its ruling is an obligation in each and every Muslim. Okay, and we're going to be talking about who is it obligated on. Okay, so it's an obligation. Okay, and what is yani, the wisdom behind it? Number one is, like I said, is to cleanse the fasting individual from the sins he have committed. Second, helping the poor. Okay, and third is to show off the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given you. To show off the bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as a way of thanking him. You know, say, Alhamdulillah, Allah have given me this, I'm gonna give that. Now, what is the form of zakat al-fitr? And is it money? No, it's food. It's food. Okay, it's food, and we're going to be talking about what types of food we could give it to, what we could use. Now, who should pay it? Who should pay it? You should pay it any Muslim, free Muslim, who is able to sustain himself for 1 day and 1 night. Yani almost anyone, almost anyone. Yeah. So any Muslim who is free, who's able to sustain himself 1 day and 1 night, he have to pay that zakat. Okay, so it's not, yeah, you see the category when you want to compare it to zakat al-mal is different. You have to have a little bit more wealth. Zakat al-mal must be money. This one food. This one is you know, it's almost everyone can pay it. Okay. Now, how much do we pay zakat al-mal, zakat al-fitr? Okay, it's what we call sa'. Sa', or sa' is 4 handfuls of certain type of food, like for instance dry food, like barley, rice, date, raisins. You know, all that dry food you give 4 handfuls, or it's approximately 3 kilos. Approximately 3 kilos. So 3 kilos on each and every individual in the house. So let's say my family is made out of 6 people. Okay, I give 6 kilos of rice. Oh no, like I mean, sorry, 3 kilos times 6. So 3 kilos on each and every person times 6. Okay, so 3 kilos from rice, 3 kilos from sha'ir, a date, barley, corn, you know, and things that are for the right food. Okay, and you either give it to the poor or you dedicate an organization that is going to give it in food. Okay, Obviously, now there is a difference in opinions whether you could pay it in money or food or food, but it's better to send it out with food. Okay. Now, Matt, should we give it out? You have all the way. Yeah, it starts from the last night of Ramadan. Okay. We start from the last day of the Ramadan all the way until the prayer of Eid. After the prayer of Eid, you can't give it. After the Eid prayer, you can. So before the Eid prayer, you're allowed to give zakat al-fitr. Okay. So this is the its time. Okay. So start. Yeah, you're allowed to give it after the after the night of the last day of Ramadan. Okay. All the way until what? Until the right before the Eid prayer. Before After the Eid prayer, you can't give zakat al-fitr, and that's all about zakat. Zakat al-fitr is very simple. Okay. Um, any other questions? Any questions in that regard? If anybody have a question in regard to our talk, inshallah.
Excuse me.
Anybody have a question? Yes.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
So the people that give the zakat al-fitr, are they the same people that you mentioned before?
No. Zakat al-fitr applies again. Who can give zakat al-fitr? Those who have they could sustain themselves for 1 day and 1 night. If I have enough food for 1 day and 1 night, then I could give zakat al-fitr. I can't speak on other. Like some people can, they can't. They're so poor that they cannot give. Yani, they don't have enough sustenance. But is it possible that a miskin can give zakat al-fitr? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible because they could have sustenance for 1 day and 1 night. And يعني zakat al-fitr tend to be very يعني a very affordable for almost everyone. يعني for instance, for somebody he's living in the United States, يعني it's like people pay what, how many, $8 or $10 per individual. And anybody can afford that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is not. I mean, brother Salman, you asked a question that is not regarding zakat al-fitr. Um, so sorry. I mean, it had to be different one. I mean, it had to be related to the subject. But to answer your question, I would say, um, um, uh, so he's asking this question. I have a question for halal Sanchez does Peru, so the owner. Yeah, if the owner can do, he could buy whatever the heck he wants from it with his money. Is it haram to buy a Lamborghini? I mean, this is considered to be israf. And he's maybe abusing his money, but yeah, he could do whatever he want to do with his money. If maybe the guy is so wealthy, he could afford a Lamborghini. That does not make it haram for us to buy it from a halal place. No. Wallahi, I'm not going to speak on individuals. You asked the general questions, I could answer that, inshallah. If he's cheating, that's a different story.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So I have a question about the people you said that receive zakah.
Mm-hmm.
You said that the people that work to distribute zakah should get zakah. So what if the person also pays zakah? Do they receive zakah or no?
One more time, Habibi. So
So if you work to distribute the zakat to the like poor people and the people that need the zakat,
mm.
and and you have enough money to pay zakat yourself. So do you get zakat from the other people or no?
So if I am a relief or worker, like, and I am part of العاملون عليها, and is it obligated for me to pay zakah? Yes, of course. If I have the criteria, we remember before we talked about who's can pay zakat al-fitr. We said, mainly two rulings. He has to have enough money, and he has to pay, and this amount of money must stay for one year with him. So if these two categories apply to him, then yes, he pays.
I mean, like, do they also get zakat from other people? Because you said that the the people that work to distribute zakat also get zakat. So do the people that also pay zakat and work to distribute it get zakat or no?
No, so it's two different things, Habibi. So one is, these people get portion of the zakat to pay off their work. Like, for instance, let's say there is an organization collecting a relief organization, okay, and they're collecting money to distribute food, okay. You with me? Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say they have collected $10,000 or $100,000 to give. This relief organization, they collected $100,000 to pay it for the poor. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now these people have this organization have three workers. They're full-time employees.
Okay.
Okay. And for me, is it okay for me to give, for instance, these workers from $100,000, $3,000 each to maintain themselves? Yes, so they could work.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, if these people who are workers, if they are, if they're rich enough to pay the car themselves, then they could pay. But if they're not, they're not. You understand now?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. خير إن شاء الله. خير إن شاء الله. So any other questions? خير إن شاء الله. جزاكم الله خير. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of you. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.